Porto 1, Arsenal 0 in the Champions League midweek first leg. And this very, very disappointing result for Arsenal. And it's just a game that's just made the second leg a whole lot harder, but not impossible. Yeah, so close to just being a 0-0. You know, they scored, pretty much a worldie in the last, 10 seconds of the game. And you know what? Based on play, a draw probably would have been fair. But if you look at the team who had the better chances, it's them, and they're probably gutted not to be going into the second leg. Maybe at least 2-0 up. So in that sense, maybe we just, need to take it on the chin, take the 1-0. As much as it's a bitter blow and it's a disappointment, obviously we started 2024 absolutely on fire. And it's just, a little jab to the chin. It's one we can't let define us, and it's a game that really and truly could mean absolutely fuck all as long as we turn them over in the second leg in 3 weeks' time. But look, no escaping it. There were worrying signs, and it was a terrible performance from Arsenal. If you've watched the videos, you know that Champions League is something I've been saying. I think Arsenal have a pretty good chance of going far in should we end up on the right side of the draw. And I wouldn't say this is completely changed my mind on that, but it has knocked my confidence, because I saw a team and a manager that completely lacked the experience in this competition at this level. They looked nervous. I felt, when you watch the Arsenal game so far since the turn of the year, we've been brilliant. The way we've been passing the ball and moving it, our attacking intent and everything has been absolutely amazing. And I saw nothing of that. I saw a level of performance that, in a way, I didn't think this team was capable of anymore. To have no shots on target, 10 corners, we're so good on set pieces, didn't make any of them count. And like I said, I'm a bit worried about it, mainly because, as I said, I saw a team that looked very inexperienced at this level and nervous, to be honest. So, let's talk about the game. It was a game that started very sloppy from Arsenal in the beginning. We got on the ball. Declan Rice starts getting on the ball, trying to get Saka to make a run. I think he gives it to one of the centre-backs, turns around to talk to Saka. They give it back. The ball's overrun, and he's had to take someone out, and he gets a booking in the first minute, which definitely, straight away he's put Declan Rice on the back foot. And for the, remainder of the game, he's got to be very, very careful. I think he did handle it well, in all fairness. He was still getting tackled in. He was still getting on the ball and stuff. And he was clever enough not to get himself sent off. But it definitely hampered his performance like it would anyone. And I feel, it was just a game. I don't know what the game plan was, but it looked like it was a game that Arsenal were happy to take a 0-0 in. And look, I don't necessarily blame them for that. 0-0 in the first leg, get them back to the Emirates, and then, you expect to beat them at home. Like, I get it, but we were just keeping the ball backwards, sideways. And in all fairness, anytime we did try and go forward, the front line would lose it. We'll go into talk about the front line soon, but Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, especially like those three, and maybe you could put Havertz in there. The quality of them three was absolutely abysmal, especially Martinelli for me. Anything he touched went out for a throw-in, it felt like, or went to the fucking opposition player. Just a really, really poor game. And in an attacking sense, we were terrible. Defensively, we were quite solid, really. They did have one chance in the first half that they probably should have scored, which would have been Saliba's fault, in my opinion. A crossover comes in, the guy hits off the bar, rebounds back to him, and he smashes it wide somehow from like 4 yards out. It was one of them. I thought it had gone in. I thought it just hit the net so quick and so powerful, then it just comes straight back out. But somehow we ended up getting away with it. You look at Saliba, he is on his heels and completely static in that moment. I mean, to be fair, the ball is moved at such a pace, I don't think he could have reacted it anyway. But other than that, they didn't really have anything. And like I said, it was a boring game. Like, let's just say it like that, instead of trying to make it too, trying to think too much of tactics and that about it. The fact of the matter is, it was a boring game, and it was a game both teams were scared to lose, it looked like. The only person I thought, who looked sort of comfortable would have been probably Odegaard. I think Declan Rice played relatively well as well, considering, he was on that booking, and I thought Ben White done all right. But you know, everyone else I think was below their sort of like usual level. If you look early on in the game, Odegaard was coming really deep, sitting next to Rice, and trying to just get on the ball and settle everyone down. And I feel like that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to lead by example, just by getting on the ball and keeping it simple. But like I said, it was just our attack. You know, we went into the front line, and everything bounced off him. Martinelli, I thought, was probably the worst game I've ever seen him have. I don't know who that player was. I don't even know if that was Martinelli, because I've never seen anything like it. He looked like a Sunday League player, and not a good Sunday League player, who had somehow won some sort of fucking competition to play for his favourite team. He was really bad, man. He couldn't beat the fullback. When he did, he trying to cross it, he was kicking it out of play. Like I said, his touch was like a fucking trampoline. Look, I'm not ripping. I don't want to rip into him too much. I love Martinelli, and I did go to Twitter after, and this is why I don't do live streams or anything, because I do lose my head. And I said, we're all talking about a Saka backup. We need to find a replacement for Martinelli. And I don't mean that. I think Martinelli is a very, very good player. And it wouldn't surprise me if in the return leg he turns it on and scores a couple and puts us through. But a bit worrying signs, because he's not had a great season. Let's be real. A lot of people get onto Kai Havertz, and, you know, I can be one of them sometimes. But you can't tell me Martinelli's had a better season performance-wise than Havertz has, because I don't think he has, to be honest. If he has, there's not much in it. Definitely not. So, very underwhelming performance. Like I said, it weren't just him. Saka was very, very poor. Didn't really do anything. Trossard was really poor. Havertz was poor. So, you know, it was just a game in general. It just didn't happen. But in those scenarios, you know the old cliche saying, if you can't win it, don't fucking lose it. We threw it away at the end, and again it was Martinelli. You know, we cleared the ball a couple of times. He gets it in space. Just keep the ball, man. Run up the pitch if you have to. Don't. He tries to play a long pass that he's not really capable of doing, in all fairness. Yes, I get it. You know, there's 3 players up there, and he probably should make the pass, and then maybe we're on a counter. Maybe we go on and score, and you're thinking, wow, brilliant. But I think that's where the inexperience come in. I think you even saw when he played the pass and lost it, Jorginho straight away looked at him and was like, what are you doing? Just keep the ball, see it out, take the 0-0. And then it goes to their player, and from about 25, 30 yards out, he's curled it. And to be fair, it's a good finish, starts from out to in and goes past Ray. I see a lot of people giving Ray a stick for this goal, saying his positioning was poor, etc. Yeah, possibly might have been slightly, but I think you just got to give credit to the finish. And, you know, I have been one of Raya's biggest critics, and I've been very much pro Ramsdale, but I don't think you can blame Raya for that goal personally. I think you got to look at Martinelli for giving the ball away cheaply, and then probably Declan Rice for not closing the guy down quick enough. But it's the 94th minute. Gizzo's probably absolutely fucked. So look, it is what it is. It's a sucker punch. Like I said, it's a jab to the chin. We need to make sure that in the second round, in the second leg, sorry, we're the one giving the knockout punch, because if we go out to Porto in the last 16, serious questions have to be asked of Mikel Arteta, because his record in cup competitions is fucking shit. And this is one where we all looked at and said, that's a good draw for Arsenal. We should get past it and get into the quarterfinals and crack on from there and see what the draw and that brings for us. If we're not in that quarterfinal draw, I will probably, unless he wins the Premier League, edge towards Arteta out, because that would be a fucking abysmal. It really would. And look, I thought about it more, like I said, when I said I think Arsenal got a better chance winning Champions League than we have the Premier League if we end up on the right side of the draw. And I have slightly changed my opinion on that, because one thing I didn't ever really take into account is how big experience is. And you can tell how much we're lacking it. Look, Jesus and Zinchenko didn't play, who are 2 of our more senior players and have played a lot of games in the Champions League. Obviously, Jorginho and Havertz have played games in the Champions League, but a lot of the other players haven't really. Not in like the knockout stages and latter stages anyway. I think Gabriel's played in a group before. There's probably a couple of others, but at that sort of level, the level we're at now, we only have about 5 players. Sorry, if you include Thomas Partey. But obviously he's not been around for pretty much the majority of the season. But look, we've still got enough to get through this round, and then, you know, we'll take it from there. The positive I'm taking is one is still in our hands. I still feel like we, you know, when they come to the Emirates, we could easily beat them by 2 goals, hopefully. And there should be a lot of lessons taken from it. So, you know, as long as we don't let it define our season, because if we do go out, it will pretty much define our season, then it shouldn't be too much of a big deal. It should just be a disappointment, but not to let it affect the rest of the season. And talking of the rest of the season, we can't let it affect our next game, which is Saturday night at 8 o'clock at home to Newcastle in the Premier League. A must-win game. The thing is with the Premier League right now, every game we have to win. And we have to hope that the others slip up. City won their game in hand midweek on Tuesday. Liverpool beat Luton on Wednesday. So, simply, we have to win. And it's going to be a really tough game. Look, Newcastle haven't been the team that they were last season. They've been absolutely hampered with injuries. I think they've probably been the team who suffered the most from injuries, in my opinion. You know, I'd have to look into it properly, but from what I can remember, I feel like there's always a Newcastle player injured, always someone new going down for months on end, etc. And they've got a lot of players out for this game. But, you know, there are rumours that potentially, well, Eddie Howe said in his press conference that Joe Willock and Isaac might have a chance of playing this game, and that Fabian Schär is fit enough to play. So it's going to be, if you remember the Newcastle at home game last season, and even this season, the way they play is a very, very tough team to beat, man. They're going to come to the Emirates, they're going to sit deep and hit us on the counter, and they do have dangerous players on the counter. If Isaac plays, he's a fantastic striker. If you look at my video I've done about how to complete Arsenal, I said he'd probably be my ideal striker. Since then, that's kind of changed due to his injury problems. He does seem to pick up a lot of injuries, but he is a fantastic player, and playing on the counter could really benefit him. Anthony Gordon's obviously had a very good season, very, very dangerous on the left. And we're coming off the back of a very intense game midweek, where Arteta only made 1 sub. I can't believe I didn't mention this. Sorry, going back to the Porto game quickly. Another thing where I said the players looked inexperienced, I thought Arteta did. I can't believe he didn't make any subs when Martinelli and Saka are having games as bad as that. And you've got Nketiah, Smith Rowe and Nelson on the bench. To not throw 2 of them on, I don't get that. What does that say to them players? There's literally telling them that I don't trust you. I can't put you here, even though these lot are playing like fucking Sunday League players. So I thought that was really poor from Arteta. Really, really poor. But not just because of that game, but due to this one on Saturday. Because now we're going into it, only a 2-day turnaround after a very intense game. You know, Saka played 90, Martinelli played 90, Odegaard played 90, Rice played 90, Saliba, Gabriel. And look, a lot of that's not his fault. You know, we've got so many injuries to players I'm sure he'd want to bring on, like Partey, Jesus, Zinchenko, etc., Tomiyasu, that we haven't had. But there were still options there he could have changed in the front line. So this game is going to be extremely tough. Newcastle will probably do what Porto done. Sit there, make it really, really hard for us and just try to hit us on the counter. And they're more than capable of doing it. But, look, in the Premier League, we've been in ridiculous form. And I do think, you know, playing away in Europe and playing away or home in the Premier League are 2 different games. But this is one where, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care if it's a boring game and the performance is shit. Just fucking win it. Just win the game. It's the most important thing. Liverpool don't play this weekend as they are in the Carabao Cup final. So, you know, where they've won in midweek, they've extended their lead at the top. And we have to close it back to 2 points. Simple as that. We cannot end this weekend 5 points behind them. And look, Newcastle haven't had a great season. I think they're sitting around somewhere, maybe just above mid-table. Like I said, I do feel sorry for them in a way, because they have had some bad injuries. But also, we owe them one. Because in the reverse fixture, when they won 1-0, I thought was an absolute ridiculous game. How they won that game, I don't know. I don't think Arsenal deserved to win it. I think that game had 0-0 written all over it and no team could have complained. But Bruno G should have been sent off in that game. I can't believe he didn't, for when he elbowed Jorginho in the back of the head. How you don't get sent off for that, I fucking don't know. They said he didn't use it as a weapon. What are you talking about? Jorginho's got his back to him. He's passed the ball and my man steamed in and gone bang. And hit him in the back with his forearm in the back of the head. Doesn't make sense how he didn't get sent off. I know a lot of people say Havertz should have been sent off. I think that's just bollocks, and that's just trying to look for any excuse to look over the fact that VAR and the referees had a shocker against Arsenal. If Havertz had touched the geezer when he slid into Damburn, fair. You know, yeah, it's a sending off all day long. He literally did not make contact. It's not a sending off. It's ridiculous. And, you know, we all know the controversy around their goal. Was the ball out? Was there a foul on Gabriel? You know, was there offside? It potentially handball even, I think. I think there was like 4 or 5 different questions regarding the goal. But they gave it and Newcastle ended up winning 1-0. So we are on 1 for that and we have to beat them. In an ideal world, I'd love to see a flowing, strong performance like we have done in recent weeks. But I would take a bore draw, jammy 1-0 win all day long. Just going to go into my predicted 11 for the game. I think this is quite a hard one to predict because I feel like in a way, surely there's got to be some changes. But with all the injuries, who do you change? I don't know. So, obviously, we'll go Raya in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, probably Kivior again. Arteta done his press conference today. He said, you know, there's a chance maybe Partey, Jesus and Zinchenko may return for this game. Tomiyasu, no chance. That guy's a fucking joke, by the way. So maybe Zinchenko, if he's fit enough, may start. But at this moment in time, it's so hard to say. So I'll say Kivior. We'll go... I always say Jorginho, I expect him to play, but then he never does. So I don't actually know. I don't think he can keep the same team again, can he? I'm going to say Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, Havertz. That's what I think he's going to go for. It wouldn't surprise me if Nketiah starts either, to be honest. But as I said, this predicted 11 is very, very hard to call due to the quick turnaround and you don't know who's going to be available. But hopefully we should have a stronger bench. You know, hopefully Jesus, Partey and Zinchenko do make it, as well as Vieira coming back. Obviously, he was on the bench midweek as well. Smith Rowe and Nketiah. So hopefully our team will start looking a little bit beefier. But this is a really tough game to call. I could easily see us dropping points in this game. But I just really hope that the boys shake off what happened midweek and just give everything in this game and win. And after that, I don't think we've got a game for like 10 days. So they've got enough time to rest. So just give it all for this 90 minutes. Leave it on the pitch. And let's go and get another 3 points and close the gap again. Predicted score. Tough one. I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal. I think we might just score maybe from a set piece or just a chance of some kind. And then we might just defend and control it. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game. So I don't think, like I said, Newcastle aren't in the best of form. But Newcastle, one of them teams, you don't know what to expect. They can be so good, but they could be so bad. So, and same with Arsenal, really. You don't always know what you're going to get with Arsenal. But hopefully more of the same more the same as we have been in the league in 2024. And not a game like we did against Porto. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Should there be more changes? What you think the score will be? What did you think of the performance midweek? And is there stuff to be worried about? Like I said, look, with the midweek, as long as we do them in the second leg, it doesn't really matter. But go out. If we go out, I don't even want to think what the video would be like. Jesus Christ. Anyway, have a good weekend, guys. And yeah, be doing the reaction video Sunday or Monday. And hopefully, we're talking about an Arsenal win and a City loss. And I don't really care what Liverpool do in a cup final. But yeah, have a good weekend, guys. And talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.